You're 19, the first time you understand that fear is a currency. Not yours. Theirs. You're standing outside a mechanic shop in Sinaloa, sun burning the back of your neck, dust sticking to your shoes. The men inside are laughing too loud. The music is louder than it needs to be. That's how you know they're nervous. You're not important yet. Just a runner. Just a kid who memorizes license plates and doesn't ask questions. But when the shop owner sees the truck pull up behind you, his smile collapses like wet paper. That's when you realize something. Power isn't loud. It's anticipated. By 23, you don't wait outside anymore. You sit at the head of plastic folding tables in rooms with no windows, phones stacked in a metal box by the door. Nobody makes eye contact unless you speak first. They call you jefe now. You never told them to. You learned early that titles grow in silence. Your mother still thinks you import agricultural equipment. She tells her friends, "You're good with business." You send her money every month, enough to repaint the house. Enough to move her away from the neighborhood that built you. You tell yourself that matters. You tell yourself that makes you different. Normal people don't know what a warehouse sounds like at 3 a.m. when 50 men are unloading packages wrapped tighter than secrets. They don't know the weight of a phone vibrating once, only once, meaning something went wrong. They don't catalog highway exits based on which ones have blind curves perfect for ambushes. They don't scan rooftops before stepping out of a car. You do, because somewhere along the way, you stopped being a person and became a position. And positions are replaceable. Your degree is in accounting. You like numbers. Numbers make sense. Assets, liabilities, clean columns, clear outcomes. The first time you laundered money, it felt like solving a puzzle. Shell companies, construction contracts, agricultural imports, restaurants that never quite fill but never go under. You follow the math. The math never lies. People do. Violence is bad for business. That's what you tell the younger ones, the ones who want to post photos with rifles on social media, the ones who think fear means theatrics. Violence attracts attention. Attention brings the military. The military brings headlines. Headlines bring politicians who need to look strong on television. You prefer invisibility. You sponsor festivals. You donate to churches. You pave roads the government forgot. In some neighborhoods, your name is said with gratitude. In others, it's whispered. You pretend those are the same thing. The first time someone dies because of you, you don't pull the trigger. You don't have to. A shipment disappears. 300 kilos. The driver swears it was stolen at a checkpoint. You know better. You don't yell. You don't threaten. You just nod once. That night, your lieutenant handles it. In the morning, the problem is gone. So is the driver. You tell yourself you didn't kill him. You tell yourself you maintained order. The difference gets harder to see after that. By 30, you don't attend meetings in person anymore. Too risky. You operate through layers. You only speak to 3 people directly. They each speak to 5. Those 5 speak to 50. Compartmentalization. If someone flips, they can't flip you. You switch phones every week, rotate vehicles daily, never sleep in the same house more than 2 nights in a row. Your properties are registered under names you've never heard spoken out loud. You don't go to weddings. You don't go to funerals. You don't stay anywhere long enough to belong. You thought power would feel bigger. Instead, it feels smaller. Rooms shrink when you enter them. Conversations stop. Even your closest men measure their words around you. You can't remember the last time someone disagreed with you honestly. That's when paranoia starts to sound like intelligence. The Americans call you a trafficker. The newspapers call you a kingpin. Politicians call you a cancer. Your neighborhood calls you a provider. You call yourself practical. Drugs move north because there's demand. Guns move south because there's demand. You didn't invent the pipeline. You just optimized it. That's how you sleep at night. Or how you try to. Sleep changes. You start dreaming in logistics. Routes collapsing. Convoys intercepted. Warehouses burning. You wake up at 4:17 a.m. every morning. Not 4:16. Not 4:18. Your body likes precision. Your mind likes control. Your life has neither. The government announces a new operation, new task force, new funding, new promises. You watch the press conference from a ranch house surrounded by walls too high to be decorative. You recognize two of the officials standing behind the podium. You've paid one of them. The other one's brother works for you. That's when you understand something else. The system doesn't fight you. It feeds on you. You are the villain they need to justify budgets. They are the pressure that keeps your prices high. Symbiosis disguised as war. But systems are unstable. One election changes everything. A governor loses. A general retires. A rival decides you've grown too careful, too quiet, too powerful. The first explosion takes out one of your distribution hubs. No warning, no message, just fire. You retaliate because you have to, not for pride. For reputation, weakness travels faster than product. Bodies make headlines. Headlines make attention. Attention makes problems. You lose 2 routes that month. You execute 3 internal leaks. You stop trusting a lieutenant you've known since you were 19. He notices. Trust, once cracked, never seals clean. Your mother asks why you don't visit. You tell her it's work. She says she prays for you every night. You don't ask for what. You try to go legitimate. That's what they all say. Diversify. Clean money. Hotels. Agriculture. Tech startups. But clean money asks questions dirty money never did. Audits. Transparency. Board meetings. You're not built for scrutiny. You're built for shadows. You meet a journalist once. Not intentionally. She's interviewing local business owners about infrastructure improvements. She asks how the roads got paved so quickly. You smile and say public-private partnerships. She holds your gaze half a second too long. You have her followed, not harmed, just followed. Information is leverage. Leverage is safety. You don't enjoy this part, but you don't stop it either. The betrayal comes from somewhere boring. It's never cinematic. No dramatic handshake with federal agents in a parking garage. Just data. Metadata. Phone pings overlapping where they shouldn't. A cousin arrested at the border decides 20 years is too long. He gives them fragments. Fragments become patterns. Patterns become a case. You don't know it yet. But the net has already started closing. Raids hit 3 of your properties in one night. Coordinated. Efficient. Someone smart is running point. You lose product. You lose cash. You lose men. You don't lose yourself. Not yet. You move further inland. Reduce communications. Shrink operations. You tell your people it's temporary. You tell yourself it's strategic. You stop using your real name entirely. You start forgetting what it sounds like, spoken casually. You see your own face on television for the first time. An old photo, grainy, cropped from a wedding you shouldn't have attended. The anchor calls you one of the most dangerous men in the hemisphere. You don't feel dangerous. You feel exposed. The paranoia stops being useful. It becomes constant. You question drivers who've been loyal for years. You rotate security so often they stop bonding. You install cameras inside safe houses pointed at the guards. You trust no one. That includes yourself. One of your younger captains goes rogue, starts flaunting wealth online. Gold-plated rifles, exotic animals, music videos filmed in your territory. He thinks visibility equals immortality. He's wrong. The military tracks him through a geotagged photo. He's captured in a week. He gives up names in 2. Not yours, but close enough. You have him silenced in prison. It's messy. It's loud. It attracts exactly the kind of attention you spent a decade avoiding. You tell yourself it was necessary. You say that word a lot now. Necessary. Your circle shrinks to 5, then 3, then 2. You start carrying your own weapon again. Not because you plan to use it, because it feels like control. You haven't felt that in years. There's a night when everything goes quiet. No calls, no alerts, no shipments scheduled. Just wind against reinforced glass. You sit alone in a house too large for one person. and realize something that lands heavier than any indictment. You won, and there's nothing here. No peace, no safety, no normal, just maintenance. Constant maintenance of fear. The arrest, when it comes, isn't dramatic. No shootout, no final stand. You're intercepted on a rural road by unmarked vehicles that move with the precision of rehearsal. Doors open, commands shouted. You calculate odds in half a second. 0. You raise your hands. For the first time in years, you feel something close to relief. The running is over. Prison is fluorescent light and routine. Your lawyers argue technicalities, jurisdiction, extradition, procedure. You recognize the system now from the other side. It isn't built for justice. It's built for process. You once exploited that. Now it contains you with it. Reporters call you a monster. Politicians call it a victory. Your former rivals absorb your routes within months. Nothing collapses. Nothing stops. The pipeline continues. You were never the head of the snake. Just another segment. Replaceable. Your mother visits once. There's glass between you. She looks smaller than you remember. She asks why. You open your mouth. You close it. There isn't an answer that fits in visiting hours. Years pass. Appeals fail. Alliances outside shift. New names dominate headlines. Young men who were children when you started now sit at plastic tables in windowless rooms, learning how fear works as currency. The machine didn't need you. It just needed someone. You think about the first mechanic shop, the nervous laughter, the way power felt like anticipation. You understand now. It was never yours. It belonged to the structure, to demand, to corruption braided into opportunity. You stepped into a current and mistook it for a throne. You're older when you realize normal people don't know what it's like to measure friendships by betrayal probability. They don't know the weight of ordering a death with a nod. They don't rehearse arrest scenarios in their heads while brushing their teeth. They don't calculate love as liability. You do, because somewhere along the way, you stopped being a person and became a symbol. And symbols are disposable. In the yard, you meet men who thought they were kings, fraudsters, arms dealers, politicians who flew too close to cameras. They all say the same thing eventually. It wasn't supposed to end like this. You never say that. You knew, maybe not consciously, but you knew. Empires built in shadows collapse in fluorescent light. If there's a lesson, it isn't cinematic. It isn't redemption. It isn't even tragedy. It's mathematics. Supply meets demand. Power meets ego. Corruption meets opportunity. Eventually, consequence meets everyone. Somewhere tonight, a shipment moves north. Somewhere else, money moves south. Somewhere, a kid stands outside a shop realizing fear can be monetized. Maybe he thinks he's choosing. Maybe he is. For a while, you thought you were building an empire. You were building a cage, just one with better furniture. And when the door closed, you realized something that should have been obvious from the start. Power built on fear doesn't protect you from it. It just makes you fluent in its language. And fluency isn't freedom. It's just scar tissue thick enough to function.